we need to redefine the word success. The American dream, money, fame, power. These are things that people pursue because they think that's the path towards happiness and fulfillment. Those that get there are severely disappointed when it doesn't solve all their problems. In fact, in most cases, it just brings them new problems that they don't have the faculties to deal with. We need a new definition for success that is about building an extraordinary life that doesn't just make the path money, fame, or power. Because a lot of cases, what humans want for fulfillment and the principles I'm going to outline today is not found through money, fame, and power. And in a lot of cases, money, fame, and power can actually hinder living an extraordinary life of fulfillment and happiness. So we need to redefine success and get down to what it is that actually makes for a fulfilled human life. That's what I want to help you do today. Maybe you can reanalyze some of your goals or the things you're pursuing and see how they might not be congruent with actually living an extraordinary life. And then you can make decisions to lead yourself to the life that you want. I mean, that's what we all want, right? That should be the ultimate goal. Yet society doesn't paint that picture for you. Welcome back to another episode of the Shut Up No One Cares, Get Back to Work podcast. I'm your host, Colin Stuckert. Had that little teaser there. I'm going to flip these shows around so I do the intro after the teaser because who wants to hear an intro every time? We're going to talk about big ideas, first principles, 10 minutes or less. We're going to get right into it. And then the Daily 6, I'm going to let you go with something that's hopefully going to make you better, that you can take action in your life to live a better life, a fulfilled life, and be a better human. The more better humans we have running around, let's get to it. I'm going to give you what is 5 of the principles that make for a fulfilled human life. And then I'm going to try to analyze and maybe pick out some examples of how money, fame, and power don't actually connect to those and or can move you away from them. The reality is most of us are never going to have money, fame, and power. We can all have a certain amount of money to live an extraordinary life. So that's kind of its own category. But the idea of money in today's world of having millions of dollars and having complete financial security and freedom and abundance, that's not going to be attainable for most people. It's a reality. It's the 1% is always going to be the 1%. You can use the principles here to still pursue the 1%, and you can pursue money, fame, and power, but you would want to keep these in mind because you can have all the money, fame, power in the world, and you can still be a miserable, depressed, sick human. In fact, you see a lot of that in people that have money, fame, and power. You see a lot of successful, depressed, sick, bedridden even humans that gave up health and gave up happiness and fulfillment in exchange for what they thought was going to give them fulfillment and happiness and actually didn't. That's not what we want you to pursue. That's not what anybody should pursue. It's a flawed model. So what actually makes a human fulfilled is 5 things. We'll list them out. Autonomy. So that's your ability to have control over how you spend your time. Purpose. That's being needed for something and contributing something that matters to you. For a lot of us, this is our family or our communities, etc. Self-actualization, so that's being the best you can be and constantly spending time pursuing betterment. Community, obviously, people around us, our family, our local community, maybe we're part of a bigger community, whatever. Security, having security that we are going to be protected and that we're going to have the resources we need to live a life and to support a family. And that's really it. And if you actually look at these, they're not synonymous with money, fame, and power. It might seem like money, fame, and power can help you buy these or help you pursue these. But a lot of cases, money, fame, and power actually pulls you away from them or makes you more fragile in some of these categories. Let's break it down. So autonomy, doing what you want every single day and making all your own decisions. Now think about somebody that is famous or powerful or has a lot of money. They probably have a lot of responsibilities and they probably have to deal with a lot of nonsense they don't want to deal with. I've dealt with this in my life. This is why our business now is very simple, and I'm always trying to keep it as simple as possible. Because the more complexity you add to it, the more employees, the more things, the more you grow, the more things that vie for your attention, and the more stress that comes as a result. Money, fame, and power pulls you away from this. It just does. You can make decisions to live simpler, and you can definitely use your money, fame, and power to do certain things to build a life. But most people don't do that. They get distracted or they don't pay attention, or it's always about more money, right? Or more this or more that. And so they don't optimize for this. And that's a big mistake. 2, purpose. Sometimes your work is connected to a purpose. Sometimes it's not. There's too many examples here to even go into this. And so I'm not going to spend a lot of time here. But if you become a lawyer because you want to make money, because your parents thought it was a good career path, and then you don't really connect to why you're being a lawyer or what you're working on or the kind of case law you're doing, and then you just become someone that shows up to work 40, 50, 60 hours a week because you can bill a lot per hour, and then in your little bit of spare time, you try to buy fancy vacations or cars or things like that. This is literally like the lawyer path, even more so than doctors, because at least doctors can feel like they're helping people. A lot of lawyers don't even feel like they're helping people. They're just battling contentious court cases, or they're fighting between spouses over who gets what or whatever. Very quickly can devolve any purpose out of your profession. That's not what you want. That is not how you find long-term fulfillment and happiness. And then this leads me to the next one, self-actualization. Self-actualization is becoming the best you can be. And what happens is when you build money, fame, or power, you build something that has that, right? Well, you get into this thing, this perpetual flywheel where you have to keep maintaining it. And so you keep kind of doing the same things over and over again. It can be very easy to slip into a rote routine that doesn't demand creativity from you. That's you just showing up and kind of putting the hours in, just grinding away. And even if you're making a lot of money or you have power or fame or whatever, you just kind of become hollow and you don't really enjoy what you're doing anymore. But because there's money there, or there's fame, or there's power, or these things you've built that you don't want to lose, you just keep going. You're just a hamster on a different hamster wheel. Community. They've done research that shows that as you attain more money, you become more isolated from other people. You even get kind of a hubris or a don't talk to me or who are you or whatever. And there's certain reasons for this. Like there's certain protection reasons where people want things from you. They always want your time or attention. People might even try to rob you, steal you, kidnap you, whatever. Like there's certain issues when you have money, fame, and power that do make you a little bit more susceptible to just random people. And that is something you have to mitigate against. So as you get stuck into maintaining, you get into maintenance mode, you get into routine, challenges leave you. And it's easy to get in your kind of comfort zone. If you're not constantly trying new things or pursuing or challenging yourself or challenging your work or your creativity, it's very easy to miss out on self-actualization. Usually self-actualization comes through struggle. It's not every day that people make the decision to do things that are hard. It's a very hard trait to build in yourself. It is something, if you're aware of it, you can definitely work towards. But most people just get caught up in the rigmarole and they don't think about this. And then years go by and they feel unfulfilled, unsatisfied, and they don't know why. Lack of self-actualization is a big reason for that. The last one is security. Now, if you think about it, it's kind of almost a dichotomy here. It's you get money and you can maybe get power, and so you can get a little bit of security out of it. You can definitely buy security to an extent. The less privacy you have, because whether it's power or fame, usually people know about you, they want things from you, etc. That does make you more susceptible from a security perspective. Actual security of funds and food and things like that, you definitely have more security in that regard, but you also pay for it by lack of privacy and lack of security in other regards. And there's a point where if you're really famous or you're really high up, no matter how many bodyguards you have, if somebody wants to get to you, they're going to find a way. So I would always prefer to be anonymous, but then have the security of having money and being able to plan for my family and know that we have a secure future. I would always prefer that over being famous and being susceptible to the many random just things that can happen when a bunch of people know about you and you don't really know them. So the thing is you can build an amazing life, an extraordinary life where you don't have to have money, fame, or power. And money to an extent will be a part of that, because nowadays, if you want to be able to eat and kind of control your time and make your own decisions, you're going to need a certain amount of money. But you'd be surprised how little it actually is. You don't need millions of dollars. I mean, with the invention of remote work and Airbnb and all these things, you can live an amazing life. You can live simply. You could do a little bit of work, side gigs here and there. Maybe you're a freelancer. Maybe you work remotely for a company, or eventually you have your own business or something like that. Then you can live an amazing life on a very limited amount of income. It's something that I think more people should pursue. And as we've seen the internet and things like van life and minimalism, a lot more people are pursuing this path because they realize that the American dream, white picket fence, 2-car garage, 3 kids with mortgage and car payments and bills and all these things, vacations, they just realize it's not really a satisfying or fulfilling way to live life. It's not really good. It's not actually fulfilling. Having a bunch of crap and a big house to fill it with more crap so you can try to impress people you don't know or keep up with your neighbors, that's the rat race. That's really what that is. They call it the rat race for a reason. You're just running on a hamster wheel. And so that's the big idea that I want you to take away today. I want you to think about the things in your life that you're doing that remove your autonomy, that aren't challenging you or helping you self-actualize, that are actively stressing you out and demanding things from you and sucking the life out of you. And then ask yourself if you can make changes and give up certain things and maybe pursue a different path that would actually get you to a fulfilled, extraordinary life. For me, it's about I can wake up every day without an alarm clock and I have nowhere to be. I set my own schedule. I only take meetings that I absolutely have to or want to. They're kind of in the same bucket. Generally, I don't say yes to things unless it's a hell yes. And I say no to things by default to keep my life simple so I can focus on my work, make a difference, and spend time with my family while being healthy and cooking my own food and living outside of the bustling city, 10 acres, which I'm already doing now. We moved here 3 months ago. And I'm constantly trying to get closer and closer to that ideal where I can travel whenever I want. I can say yes to things whenever I want. I can say no to things whenever I want. And I can have as few external responsibilities and demands of my time as possible. I've gotten to a point over 13 years where I've been able to do this. And I've used business and entrepreneurship as the kind of roundabout way to get there, because the irony of entrepreneurship is in the beginning, it's very demanding and everything's on you. But if you grow to a certain point and you can have employees and systems and routines, you can remove yourself a lot from it and do the work that matters to you. So for me, it's content creation, it's thinking, it's being creative, it's brainstorming, it's writing. These are my favorite activities and what actually moves the needle. And so I built my business in a way to simplify things, not be always available and on demand, have routines and standards to where my employees can't just call me anytime they want. We have our getting things done systems. We have our bi-weekly check-ins where we answer all the questions and we batch things. And I've been able to do it where I can actually wake up every day, do whatever I want. I have very few things on my calendar. And I mean, I'm living an extraordinary life. I still have a lot of goals I want to achieve and I want a certain kind of financial freedom, but I'm living the life that I want. I could try to pursue being CEO of Fortune 500 company and working in an office and doing all these different things, or starting a new startup that's going to change the world like Elon Musk and courting investors. And these are all things I could choose to do, but I don't want to live that way. And so I'm okay with maybe giving up certain financial rewards, or maybe having a little bit simpler life and having a little bit of the less flash and glam as a result. That's okay. I don't want to do a speaking tour trying to promote some book and become, the next Tony Robbins or the typical like entrepreneur that teaches other entrepreneurs or whatever. I want to get in front of my camera right here. I'm going to get in front of the mic and do the podcast. I want to help people that way from the comfort of my own home and the comfort of my routine, and then challenge myself in other creative ways, both physically and mentally, because I'm aware of it and I want to have the freedom to do that. And so that's what I'm doing right now. So I hope that there's some ideas for you about how you can make changes in your life. Maybe go to your employer and ask for working remote half the week, or start with 1 day a week, then move to 2, etc. If you're good at what you do, you can always get something from your employer. If you're a valuable employee, you need to ask for things like this that give you more control over your schedule, your time, and your life. And for most people that work a job that have to be somewhere on a fixed schedule, that's the number one thing that would improve their life, is just taking back control of your schedule and having more control over when you work and where you work. That's the big idea today. I hope you do something with this. Take some action. Maybe make some notes. Do a mind map of your life and the things that you do that you don't want to do. Make a pros and cons list. I don't know. Do something to get something on paper, so you have some actual data that you can reference and think about. This is a big topic. It's not going to come to you immediately. It's not going to come overnight. You'll have to think about it. You'll have to let it ruminate. You'll have to let your subconscious do its thing. And then hopefully you can uncover some gems to make your life better and pursue an extraordinary life, maybe in a better path, in a better way than what the American dream has painted for us. Daily 6, and I'm going to let you go. Daily tip or recommendation: use mind maps to brainstorm. So this is also like an idea tree. It's basically topic, and then branches that go out, and then subtopic, and then branches that go out from that subtopic to have more subtopics, and then on and on and on. The more you can break things out from the big, broad ideas down to their small parts, the better you're going to understand something and the more insights you're going to have. This is amazing for goal setting and for planning out your life, for analyzing your life. And so it's germane to the topic today. Daily book. This isn't an actual book. This is actually a genre, fiction. I know a lot of type A entrepreneurs and marketers and people I've met over the years, and a lot of them don't read fiction. And I think that's a damn shame. I tell these individuals all the time that I've probably learned more and become more self-aware reading fiction than nonfiction. And I've probably read 10-to-1 nonfiction to fiction books. I've read way more nonfiction than I have fiction. But fiction is just one of those things. It is a personal development, success, life, happiness, fulfillment, self-awareness hack that you just cannot fathom. So find some genres you like, find some authors, and commit to reading every single day. I like to read fiction before I go to bed. Oh, daily health tip. That leads me into the daily health tip. Get in bed 1 hour before you go to bed, low light, orange light, no screens, and then read some fiction. If you struggle with going to sleep, this will put you to sleep every single time. Daily cooking tip. Build a routine around your cooking with your family. So maybe dinner time. Everybody cooks, everybody contributes. One person does a side, one person sets the table and gets drinks, whatever. The more you can get your family involved, rather than just one person doing all the work. I mean, it's actually asinine to me that in a lot of households, just one person does all the cooking and cleaning. That's just so stupid. That's stupid. It really is. Daily thoughts about money. Be scrappy and try to fix and repair things. So with YouTube, with Amazon, with eBay, and with places like Craigslist Free, you can probably always find the materials you need as well as the procedures for fixing things that you so readily discard. Try building your own thing. Instead of going to Amazon to find some solution, maybe use some wood and screw something together. There's just so many examples of this. I can't even really think of one exactly, but you can either repair things or you can build things and do a lot more DIY, and you'll get way more satisfaction out of it. And in a lot of cases, you'll even save money. That's it for today's show. I hope you take some action with something in the show or multiple things, and that you use it to become a better human and live a better life, and then lead by example so other humans will follow in your footsteps. Thanks for watching. Hey, Colin here. Before I let you go, make sure you go over to colin.coach to hop on the AM5 newsletter so you can get a list of all the shows as well as some of my best content from the week before. You can go to colin.coach to get that now. If you'd like to support the show, you can go over to patreon.com/Colin Stuckert, and you can see some of the membership options, a small monthly donation to help support the work here, and join me in my quest to build better humans using big ideas, as well as promoting health through the Ancestral Mind podcast. I appreciate the support, and if you have any questions or comments, you can send me an email directly to colin@wildfoods.co. This show is also sponsored by Wild Foods Co. Real foods, superfood ingredients from small producers around the world. These are the products I use and trust on a daily basis. You can use code WILDCEO for 12% off your entire order over at wildfoods.co.